Blessings, blessings, and grand risings, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Miss Grace in the morning. And you know what we do if you don't know what we do. We're here at least 3 days out of the week in the morning where we talk about what's going on in politics, not only in a comprehensive way, but a non-biased way. We have a lot to unpack today. Okay, so this is why I came on a little bit early. We're going to check our sound, make sure that everything is good. And okay, there we go. All right, we're going to unpack this. So as we wait for people to come in, we're going to just start talking about what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, the Epstein files allegedly are going to be released. So what we're going to do is kind of do a little flashback and bring it up to now. And we're going to talk about what to expect from this. We're going to look at a little bit of footage from the victims because I do think that the victims are holding back. I do believe the victims are holding back, as well as we're going to hear a little bit from Jasmine Crockett and Miss Pam Bundy. Okay. You see how the tables have turned, and Trump is so willing to sign and release these files. So we're going to talk about it because it's a little suspicious to me. It was a little suspicious, but while people get in and notifications go out, let's get to a flashback because I think this is when it got hot and heavy for Mega. Mega is in shambles right now. They don't know what to do. They've been holding on by a thread, believing or trying to believe in Trump. But guess what? Trump has proven every which way that they cannot trust anything that Trump said. Remembering that Trump ran on releasing the Epstein files and draining the swamp. So let's go.
Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene online right now, they're still going. I mean, this is glorious. It started tonight when Donald Trump completely withdrew his support of Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying he's withdrawing his support, his endorsement, and if somebody runs against her in the Republican primary in Georgia, he will endorse them. He also called her a lunatic and far left, stuff like that. Then Marjorie Taylor Greene responded saying Trump attacked me and lied. I haven't called him at all, Donald Trump was basically saying Marjorie Taylor Greene was blowing up his phone. But I did send these text messages today. Apparently, this is what sent him over the edge, the Epstein files. And she actually leaked her text messages with Donald Trump. She sent this text to Trump yesterday talking about the Epstein files, saying they should be released. She also sent this text to a senior aide of Donald Trump saying the files should also be released. And then Trump started reposting people's mean tweets about Marjorie Taylor Greene, like this one, for example, or this one, your political future just ended. This one, hope it was worth it, sell out, you can pause to read. Or this one, this was the other one that Donald Trump posted. And this has all taken place in like maybe the last 3 hours, but this might be a breakup that MAGA can't recover from. This is bad for them, but it's great for us. Is he called me a traitor, and that is so extremely wrong. And those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
Sorry. Now, listen, guys, I don't mean to be this loud. Now, if y'all remember my last broadcast, I literally brung up Bill Clinton name, just to warn you guys to get ready for the impact for whatever's coming. That is not going to only be Republicans on this particular list. And it's so crazy that this thing went crazy, blowing Bubba. Okay, we're not gonna talk about blowing Bubba and those speculations, but you do remember if you guys have been watching the last live that I made, I said Bill Clinton was one of the first few, and I have a little inner rage, but I try not to call it rage, related to the Clinton Foundation and what they did to Haiti. And I went into detail how the kids were missing, literally after the earthquake, and took advantage of not only the Haitian people, but took advantage of the American people by taking their money. Okay, so I just had to get back to that. I think that's a little 8 ball because I subliminally was like, Bill Clinton, y'all, get ready, but it's more. So today we're going to kind of be talking about what to expect, and I want you guys to get in the audience and tell me what hope will come out of these files. What do you think is going to happen? You see, Trump is trying to initiate some type of control. We'll talk about that, of the investigation of this now, even though it was fake news. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's just watch him and Margie go at it.
This morning, President Trump's feud with his former ally and Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is intensifying. The president called her Marjorie Traitor Greene in a Truth Social post one day after referring to her as a ranting lunatic. Greene punched back in a series of posts on social media, saying in part, quote, I never thought that fighting to release the Epstein files, defending women who were victims of rape and fighting to expose the web of rich, powerful elites who have caused this, but here we are. All this is ahead of an upcoming House vote compelling the release of more Epstein files.
Now, wait a minute. Let's keep this in mind, okay, who Marjorie Taylor is. She wasn't an active politician before getting into her position. They allegedly categorized her as a cute, a non type of person, and she brung a lot of that base there for Mega. That's Mega base, that QAnon that was pushed under the rug because they said psychosis was happening with them, allegedly. But I think this was the turning point because she does have a strong base behind her, and her thought pattern is more aligned with them than Trump. Remembering, i.e., the Epstein files, draining the swamp, and then her constituents and family being directly affected by Trump policies. I mean, she literally turned not only with the SNAP benefits, but with the insurance issue. She was like, oh, basically family members is going to be affected by this. And it's sad that it took that to be the point for her to turn. But big baby, I think that was, look, happened. But that's why we rewatching this, because this is the turning point. And I don't think she was going to give up on that releasing the Epstein file, especially after the numerous women were able to speak out. Okay, let's go.
I don't care about it, released or not. What I think you should do, if you're going to do it, then you have to go into Epstein's friend. The House is expected to vote next week on a bill that would force the Justice Department to release files from its investigation. The Epstein news right now, the intra-party civil war within the Republican Party is only growing right now as Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump continue to bash each other online. Donald Trump has a new nickname for Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's now Marjorie Taylor Brown, because according to him, green grass becomes brown.
Do me a favor, guys. As you come in, please hit the like button. It is free. I know you may not be able to stay, but we are working to get ourselves in the algorithm and continue to move forward. So a like is free. Please hit the like or hit the dislike. Speak your piece. But let's go.
Rots. I can't make this up even if I tried. Marjorie Taylor Greene, meanwhile, is saying that she can't imagine that fighting for the release of the Epstein files and fighting to protect these women, these survivors, would lead to this, but yet here we are, essentially calling out Trump for protecting a powerful network of individuals who have engaged in a decades-long abuse of young girls alongside Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And Donald Trump spent all night pretty much posting bashing comments of other people on Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Now, my Trump base, now y'all know that's manic. That don't even make no sense. This was totally new for me, for our president to start tweeting and getting on social media. Trump started that crazy stuff, and he literally loses his mind online. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
I don't know where this is going to go, but what I do know right now is the Republican Party's really unraveling, at least the MAGA wing. We'll see what happens next. Spread the word. Follow for more.
Having as a party. They want to talk. You said Venezuela wants to talk. What does that mean? Venezuela would like to talk. What does it mean? You tell me. I don't know. I talk to anybody. I talk to you.
We'll be following up with the Venezuela and this silent war that we're having in the Caribbean islands this week or next week. Because that's still happening right now. This guy has declared war. We didn't even know it.
Right? I talk to anybody. We'll see what happens.
Her life could be in danger because of the rhetoric.
Her life is in danger? Who's that? Marjorie Trader Grin. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. Okay, what about?
Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files, and that is shocking. And, I stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with children who are in terrible sex abuse situations. And I stand with survivors of trafficking and those who are trapped in sex trafficking. And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files. And I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong. And so I'm standing with the women, and I will continue to do my small part to get the files released.
Okay, guys, I do apologize for that sound. I was adjusting my mic. I had to make sure y'all could hear it, so I do apologize.
Her and Donald Trump, as the MAGA civil war has officially begun. Now, if you missed it last night, Donald Trump says he is officially done with Marjorie Taylor Greene. He is removing his endorsement. He claims she's too focused on the files and has offered his endorsement to anyone that would primary her.
Now, guys, we're going over this because this is literally the turning point. As Commander said, no pun intended. We just want to see the buildup of what's going on. And I think Marjorie Taylor and her QAnon self was the one that actually pushed this, along with the Democrats using this as ammunition. You know what I'm saying? Because of the government shutdown and them not really coming out strong when it comes to the negotiation. That is a fact I do believe. But whatever it took to get this, after years, these cases happened in 2011. These cases with these young, and I call them young girls, and some people are like, oh, they're not young girls, they're not babies. Yes, they were, and they grew into women now, but they're still suffering from that. 2011. So let's finish watch because Marjorie Taylor is exposing her Trump communication. And Trump can't say nothing. He can't say nothing but call her Doodle Brown. He is a hot mess.
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene responded by putting out text messages suggesting
she doxed Trump
was upset is because of these messages, which is nothing but Marjorie Taylor Greene bugging Donald Trump about releasing the files, saying it's not about you, it's all about the women. And people from Donald Trump's team responding to her, saying it's all a hoax, and attacking her for bugging Donald Trump about this. Now, Laura Loomer has entered the chat, and if you remember, she a few months ago threatened to release messages about Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is going to heat up, and MAGA is split right now. Some are staying with Donald Trump and Make America Great Again, while others are going with Marjorie Taylor Greene under America First. Get your popcorn and buckle up.
Here we go. So now, y'all hear this. Just know MAGA is mutating into America First. Okay, let's see how this mutation works. And I'm going to have to throw this out here because MAGA, y'all got a lot of racial issues. Okay, y'all really do. You have racial issues. So how is this going to mutate? Are y'all going to allow us in, or are you going to allow us in? No, I'm not. I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm just saying people with brown, because there are some that was following MAGA and they got really like just thrown. Like, I don't like you. You black. So what y'all gonna do with the American First? Are y'all gonna finally open up and be human and see what's going on and just, move into a party that focus on our values and not the president's agenda? I just gotta throw that in there because here y'all go mutating. Here goes another name. We're gonna start a new entity, start new. No, MAGA, y'all did damage with this shit. Okay, so you gonna come in with a new attitude? I'm just trying to figure this out right now, okay? Because this definitely plays a role. And I do want to highlight, out of these victims, you see a lot of Caucasian women, but I did come across from, I had to take, I think the Shade Room. For the Shade Room has an amazing show. It show a victim that is of brown ethnicity, and it has been a lot of them. As I told you, they were still in our Caribbean kids. So with that goes to say, I do want to highlight the victims as well. It's a multicolored cloak. Again, so my brown melanated people, please don't separate yourself from this, because you're going to see a lot of Gentiles go down. They're going to be going down. You're going to be like, you're not having nothing to do with me. Yeah, that's them. Hell no, because we got that going on the Democratic side. And just understand that a lot of the Democrats are multicolored cloak. And from what I learned from dealing with the South Side, just to go to the left, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. I mean, underline it crazy stuff when it deals with the politics, like magic, boys being so, yeah, just stuff that I couldn't talk about, and I'm not going to talk about now. But I heard a lot about the dynamics of politics on the Democratic side, and it was like demon time. You remember that, y'all? Who used to watch me when that person used to say demon time? He was a Democrat. Trying to tell you. So let's finish watch this a little bit. Marjorie has turned the tables. We got a lot of things to show because we're playing catch up. I have not been live. Please hit the like button. We're here doing a comprehensive build up.
That is the talk of DC today. Do lawmakers think there's enough support to move it forward? Alex, to move forward in the House, yes. To actually get it signed by President Trump on his desk, that's a different story. But let's hone in for a moment on Tuesday's vote, because Republicans and Democrats alike are projecting a lot of confidence when it comes to this vote to release the Epstein files. We had Republican co-sponsor of this bill, Thomas Massie, saying earlier that up to 100 Republicans could vote to release the Epstein files. That's, of course, incredibly notable, because essentially every Republican signing on voting yes is directly defying what President Trump has essentially ordered for Republicans, which is to vote no against the.
Hold on, y'all. You know what I was thinking, y'all? This is what I was thinking about. This notoriety or whatever. Now, I will hope that the people, now that you see, okay, it's Democrats and Republicans kind of on the same page with this, that we kind of separate the title, the groups of these people, that gang mentality, and kind of see what they're really pushing, obviously. Because it took someone like Marjorie Taylor to break away from her party, and all of those people knew. They know the nastiness that's involved in some of the, files that was released or that the FBI have. They know it. And they would not vote on that. Y'all really got to think about that. There's some people that y'all really like that's in our Senate, our Congress, all the type that y'all like. Y'all got to think about it. They did not vote. Shout out to Marjorie with her QAnon self. Let's finish off. That was notable, but we still got to pick and choose now. Now the color lines are blurred. Okay, let's get it. We choosing based on character, creed, and what you doing now. Hit the like button. That's what I'm choosing on. That's what I've been choosing on. I just hope you guys get the vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Republican Representative Bacon said, let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. The American people have said what they want. Let's give them what they want. I also found it really notable when Representative Smith, that you talked to earlier, talked about the political games that are being played here by Donald Trump, because behind closed doors, I've spoken with White House officials and aides who essentially said the same thing. They said that this is not a good look for Trump to be so publicly going after individuals who want to vote yes to release these files. The biggest person there, of course, that we've been talking about throughout today is Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of Trump's largest, most adamant supporters over the years. Essentially, this massive.
All right, so let's get to it. Now, we kind of, this is where we left off at. I had made this video and I had released it, but I had some issues. So I said, let's replay it real quick. Now we're going to get into what Rep. Jasmine Crockett has to say about basically the autocracy machine that's been going on with Trump and the Republicans. Okay, and she's going to highlight a little bit about this Epstein file because she was there listening in a hearing to these women testify, and Marjorie was there that time. And Marjorie and Crockett be going at it, maybe. I think right there the color lines was blurred that day when those victims came to speak up, and I saw that. When I looked at the news broadcast, I saw unity between the parties. They were all feeling the same way. This can be your mother, your daughter, your niece, your nephews. Because I bet you there's going to be some boys that come up Don't get it messed up. This is talking about a band-aid. This is not a band-aid. This is literally like, I don't even know what to, y'all give me it of what this is. This is going to be bad. It's going to be bad and it's going to be big. Okay. Now let's listen to Jasmine Crockett a little bit, what she has to say about basically the Trump machine and what we're going to see. And I want to listen to this too, because we're going to have to keep in mind that he's trying to get control over this investigation, allegedly, or launching an investigation into fake news. Again, let's keep that in mind.
Calling this hearing. Since January, Donald Trump has used the full power of the federal government to attack Americans, cities across the country. In Donald Trump's America, you are at increased risk of experiencing militaristic operations in your home, increased risk of being subject to detainment by mass thugs and wannabe vigilantes, increased risk of suffering injuries due to reckless and illegal acts by rogue federal agents, increased risk of being deported to foreign nations, even if you are an American citizen.
Yes. Yes. Someone was arguing with me in my comments about that. They was like, no, it's not American citizen. And we have proof that they have tried to deport American citizens, no matter what they look like. If you think that they're only supposed to be Gentiles, that's not how it works. On top of, we been keeping our eye on ICE agents getting locked up, being drunk drivers, having their kids in the cars. We have another one that we're going to react to this week of an ex-ICE officer being put down in court. Yeah, they're going down. And this is the things that we still have to pay attention to in the middle of this Epstein debacle, because they're in they're in Charlotte. Charlotte is going, oh, ham, just to give y'all a little sidebar. New York, oh my God. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it. New York is turned up like they're not playing. So I want you guys to pay attention to what's going on as well, because if we don't pay attention to them fighting for their freedom as ICE, the National Guard, and the Border Patrol goes into each of our states, um, basically mandating compliance, taking our First Amendment rights away, abusing people, locking them up, causing them to have major legal bills, losing their job. Yeah, I mean, I think some people are like, if you get locked up by ICE at this point, your job would be like, okay, look, I ain't about to fire you, because that's something I was concerned about, like just going through the legal process and them just throwing people in there, making them wait. They can't talk to lawyers. You know how much that would affect people's personal lives, on top of the people who were unalived by ICE. I just have to talk about it. We're not going to forget, because this is going on adjacent to the Epstein files. Okay, we're going to be talking about it. Shout out to New York. They turn up. They turn up. Okay, now let's list the Crockett, because she brought up a good point. We cannot forget it. Let's go. Please hit the like button. Thank you for being here this morning.
Increased risk of being targeted by federal government for criticizing the president and his friends. Congressional Republicans have completely abandoned their Article 1 powers and have exchanged their responsibility to their constituents with fealty to the president. They have allowed the president to morph federal agencies into instruments of autocracy. And as a result, the president has been able to ignore federal law, disregard court orders, and implement the largest pay-for-play scheme in American history. The White House, well, what's left of it anyway, is literally up for sale. The federal courts have characterized this presidency as, quote, lawless. In fact, when ruling against illegal acts committed by the administration, a Republican-appointed federal judge stated, quote, the court cannot imagine how the public interest might be served by permitting federal officials to flaunt the very laws they have sworn to enforce. In a separate case where the administration was sued for unlawful acts, the judge, also a Republican appointee, stated, quote, allowing constitutional rights to be dependent upon the grace of the executive branch would be a dereliction of duty by this third and independent branch of government and would be against the public interest. But in another case, the court summed it up perfectly by declaring, quote, as is becoming far too common, we are confronted again with the efforts of the executive branch to set aside the rule of law in pursuit of its own goals. Judiciary
I'm going to give her a shout out. You know why? Because she has been the only one pushing the separation of powers. Know everybody, she's been pushing it, separation of powers. Do you know this is what our job is? Now, I'm going to tell you this. I love that the Senate and our representatives are allowing the victims to come out. I think that, just to state this now, that's the safest way. I don't think that the DOJ should investigate it. I don't think the FBI should investigate Cash Patel. Whole damn lie. We're not even going to play the clip of him trying to go around circles about how many times Trump name was inside of these files as though they didn't exist. But what that goes to say, it was great to allow this to go out, and that's why I think they should still process this investigation through these government bodies and not the DOJ or the FBI. But like she said, this is not our job. We are here to pay bills, create spending bills, and create laws. People forgot what each branch is supposed to do. So let's remember that. So because Trump has obscured everything. So pretty much, if you don't know about the separation of power law and the federal power versus state power, you're going to be confused. You're going to be confused, especially our younger generation. Only reason why my son knows because he be in there listening to me talking. I'm just being real. So remember, teach your kids. Right. Shout out to Jasmine Crockett for keeping it focused. That's why we're watching this, because some things we just kind of looking at headlines, things they say. But remember, separation of powers, and she's been the main person highlighting that. I don't care what party she's in. We need to have a check and balance system because they sick. They sick.
As we all know, Mr. Epstein is one of the most notorious sexual predators in American history. For 8 weeks, the Republicans on this committee have chosen to protect these two men instead of providing justice to Mr. Epstein's victims. Now the administration is panicking. First, they campaigned on releasing the Epstein files. Then AG Bondi and Associates did a photo op with the files. And she said, and I quote, "The Epstein list is on my desk."
Remember?
Then somehow the Epstein list didn't.
I'm not going to keep throwing that in mega face, but y'all remember, I want y'all to be mad. Now, I don't want y'all to be January 6th mad, but mad enough not to make a stupid decision. Just like you said, how did we become this stupid as a country? No child left behind. It started before that, but that was the iceberg. But let's go.
Exist. Then the Epstein files became a Democratic hoax. Now the president is supposedly supportive of releasing the files, even though he's currently ignoring a congressional subpoena to do so. Now the president is simply crashing out. And it's because he can't seem to explain his special decades-long relationship with one of the most prominent sexual predators in American history. It's already public that he
and his friend, as he talked about, we need to figure out who's Epstein's friends. And you was wanting, where did this picture come from? Wait a minute. All right. We didn't do AI generated on this one, but let's keep going.
He's in the Epstein files, but his administration is hiding the context of his involvement, if any, with Mr. Epstein's horrific crimes. Now, this is Miss Ghislaine Maxwell. Miss Maxwell, who obviously helped Jeffrey Epstein traffic more than 1,000 women and girls. Well, Donald Trump is now giving her special treatment while she's serving out her prison sentence. He won't even rule out giving her a pardon or commuting her sentence.
Exactly.
I don't need to explain why pardoning sex traffickers.
Thank you. How please, if a mega support is here, tell me, how do you feel about that when he is on the borderline of possibly pardoning her, highlighting that, her interview told a lot. And one of the main connection was Mar-a-Lago, and they were picking up girls from there. Trump, after a while, I think he saw that Epstein empire was getting bigger and Epstein got properties that Trump wanted. That's when the contention came. But he loved Epstein, and he loved, um, I'm who Gleanne is to them. I could call her a fixer a little bit, but I already told y'all she damaged good. So she's like that MK Ultra type of uh person in this, where she's controlled. I don't think she's like the big fixer like how Epstein is, but it's no way that she should not be involved. There was an interview of a young lady. They not only got people from Mar-a-Lago. There was a young lady who was a painter. They went to an art show. Now, I'm going to show some of these, but some of these are really like, I guess, platforms that may copyright me, so I don't want to show all of them. But she was a painter, and they basically loved her art. They bought her art. She had to have been like 12 or 13 years old now. It's kind of weird, this story, too, because we got to put the responsibility on the parents, because this is just weird. And they wanted her to create art for them. So she went to stay with them for 6 weeks. I don't know if they ran it like a summer program, internship, possibly, because that's how they get some of us. It's not always through, oh, this child ran away because she's a bad girl and she wanted to get money. That's how they got these type of girls, and they were fast. No, they lured them in, some of them through internships, externships, and they exploited them. So allegedly, she said it was both Gleanne and him that took advantage of her. And this was a painter, a little girl who was a painter. Literally said they stomped. She said she was the one that said they stomped her flower out as her flower was growing. So Gleanne, y'all need to be, if he thinks even an inclination to pardon her. And we're going to go over his pardon list, not today, because this one's going to be long-winded today. We have to catch up. But that pardon list is utterly disgusting. Utterly. And some of them people are already re-locked up or dead. Okay? Just a sidebar. Let's go, Crockett. Go ahead, finish. Highlight the truth, Queen. So I gotta say it. Go ahead, girl.
Wouldn't be restoring law and order. Now, this is Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. Not only has
Wait,
Secretary
you said,
Noem,
before we talk about Kristi Noem, you said that Trump removed Epstein from Mar-a-Lago, but how long was Epstein actually functioning in Mar-a-Lago? How many girls was already, taken from Mar-a-Lago or externship from Mar-a-Lago? He know what was going on in those parties. There's going to be, going to watch a little bit. There's no plausible deniability. And remember, if you support this, I'm gonna make your conscience hard. You might as well just be quiet and watch what's going on rather than actually support a MAP, a minor attracted person. That is diabolical. Diabolical. Y'all know it. So I appreciate your comment, but he did stop it. But at what point did he stop it? And how many girls were already affected by this? Say right. Just say right. Let's finish, Crockett.
been busy filming propaganda ads. She's also been busy cashing in on millions of taxpayer dollars.
Ooh.
In fact, Secretary Noem has funneled millions of dollars to a company called the Strategy Group. The Strategy Group helped Secretary Noem win her campaign to become the governor of South Dakota.
Oh, hey, okay, wait. My mod is not here, y'all. But this actually is going on a Democratic side too. What Noam is doing, this is pretty typical where they have these people. I keep calling them the fixers, but they're different type of fixer. Not gonna go deep into the story, but just know that the South Side is being taken over by Democrats, cricket lawyers, and things like that. So they have someone like the fixer. So when there's too much conflict of interest and too many stories mixed together where people really being shown to be criminals, he go in and clean some stuff up, clean your image up, put a little weight on people, like for real, like, yeah, that's fixers. They're on both sides. I be coming up with some names, but those are fixers, y'all. They have them.
Her top policy advisor has worked with the firm, and the company CEO is married to Secretary Noem's chief spokesperson, Mrs. Tricia McLaughlin. This is what corruption looks like.
She's calling it out.
They're stealing money from the American people's pockets and depositing it into their bank accounts. Now we move on to yet somebody else.
Ooh.
This is the so-called border czar, Tom Homan. Mr. Homan is on tape accepting $50,000 in cash bribes stuffed in a brown paper bag.
She is doxing people, like, for real. Do you hear what she's about to say? I know I just cut it off. She's about to talk about transactions going on in a brown paper bag. That's what I'm talking about. Look, let the people know what's going on. If y'all wanted to drain the swamp, Crockett is draining the swamp. What'd she say? Brown paper bag? Let's go. Mr. Noem.
Stuffed in a brown paper bag from an undercover FBI agent. Apparently, Mr. Holman accepted these bribes in exchange for awarding federal contracts to his friends. Trump's Department of Justice killed the investigation into Mr. Holman's crimes, and congressional Republicans didn't say a mumbling word. Lastly, this is insurrectionist and Nazi sympathizer Ed Martin. It appears that Mr. Martin is functioning as the Associate Deputy Attorney General, Pardon Attorney, Director of the Fake Weaponization Working Group, and Special Attorney for Mortgage Fraud. All that means is that Mr. Martin is Trump's lapdog, whom the president sends to initiate lawsuits against the president's perceived political opponents.
And that's all of them black women that went out there and stood up for justice, and they getting bombarded. And I don't, the reason why I say that, because, all right, boom, when New York went after her, the attorney was at the AG in New York, and Fannie Willis went after him. First, when Fannie Willis, I was like, oh, shit, this is a setup. Not to say that he possibly didn't do it, that it wasn't nothing being conspired, but it's because we as black women want to come and play Captain Save and want in the hardest situations. And I don't think that a lot of Democrats went to bat against Trump. A lot of black congresswomen and people in the political arena, which was my sisters, put their career on the line. So when I saw that, even though I don't like Fannie Willis, I was like, I don't like her. But I said, "Ooh, you done set yourself up." And he had went after every single one through this mean, which is really ridiculous, through mortgage fraud. Peep this, and we're not gonna go far because then you're gonna be like, oh shit, we were talking about the death note and a little bit of conspiracy, but the way that's set up at the end of the day, it's questionable. I just want you guys, that's why I teach you people how to invest in alternative real estate, because the mortgage agreement in itself is a death note, and it continues. The way, it put interest on you for the first 10 years and everything is against God to me. But it's all types of fraud going on there. But I know I went to the left, but y'all look into that, y'all. That was a little infomercial. Check out Primetime Home Buyers, where I teach you how to invest in alternative real estate, and I teach you how to do your due diligence. But again, he sent this watchdog after the black women that stood up for him. I mean, that stood up against him. And I'm going to say, I'm going to have to give y'all a shout out, but I'm going to definitely say something about the Democrats. Y'all didn't stand up for them. Not at all. Y'all let him come after these women through stupid mortgage, stupid things. And a lot of the things that they did, like having second homes and saying it's their first home, y'all, they do it all the time. They do it all the time. Trump's whole first portfolio was literally based off fake funding or semi-available funding from his grandfather's wealth. You guys know that. That's why they went after him in New York, because he was perpetrating a portfolio that he did not have, that made the bank lend him money. So he thought that, hey, if I paid them back, I'm straight. But it's still the practice of being honest. And when you sign those documents, say, this is true, valid statement, that becomes contracts that they can go after you. And that's why they went after Trump. So just remember that when we talk about his riches and him going after other people about the way they do business, he literally was just a face. We about to finish this and move on. His niece has an interview. Do you know Trump has a niece that they abandoned? Okay, we're gonna do a reaction to that. So she basically talks about how she grew up, and it was Trump oldest brother's daughter, and his older brother, he allegedly died for alcoholism. He was the one that was supposed to get the Trump empire, but it didn't fall on him. You know why it didn't fall on him? You know why they didn't give it to him? Not because he wasn't smart, not because he was like one of the first few people to fly some type of amazing plane, and he wasn't intelligent. It was the fact that he had a heart, and they needed someone who was going to be ruthless and basically conniving to move forward the legacy that the Trumps want. Someone that was willing to do anything and say anything. Trump took on this persona like he had this, that, and the third, and he was willing to do anything. And that's why he got into the position. And that's why these people around him are of the same tincture. So remember that. If you see people around him, it's because they have the same tincture, the same affinity to do the same thing. Fake documents, lie, manipulate, and do like this guy. as Crockett docs everybody. She's almost done. Let's give her one more minute. We moving forward. Please hit the like button. I'm here for a little while this morning as we play catch up because I had a really busy week. Thank you for being here with Miss Grace Levi. Yeah, as y'all know, I am not a Democrat or Republican. I'm non-biased, so we could talk about it as long as we respect each other in the audience. That's what I'm saying. Just say what you want. As long as you put some respect on each other's name. Let's go.
This is what we call organized crime. They're breaking the law, often by stealing taxpayer dollars, covering up their crimes by ending and obstructing investigations, then prosecuting people who call out their unlawful behavior. And while the Republicans are encouraging this corruption, they're abandoning actual victims of violent crime and ignoring the Republican-led state's 21st century murder crisis. In September's appropriation markup, congressional Republicans proposed reducing the FBI staff by thousands of positions and underfunding the agency by more than $1 billion. They've proposed slashing resources from the ATF. They've proposed cutting grants for juvenile justice programs and hate crimes and eliminating the community violence intervention and prevention grants. They're literally defunding the police.
And we're going to stop right there while refunding and allocating that money to entities that Trump think that he can control. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you. I have a very distinguishing voice. I'm a Hebrew. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm glad that you're here for a minute to learn something. Please add some constructive criticism. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Please hit the like button. Now, let's move forward to see where we're at right now as Trump think he's going to take over this investigation and how can I say? I think manipulate it. I really do think that Trump believes he's going to manipulate this investigation, focus on releasing certain papers that's going to highlight more Democrats, not the rich and elite. Not only because it was not just the Democrats that was involved in this, it was other political parties. Because you have to remember that our system is not. I know I've been stressing the check and balance system and the separation of powers, but it's lobbyists. Okay, whoever has the most money has the loudest voice, and whoever can distribute it across, sectors has the most power. Literally, they said wars are funded by the same group of people. Yep. But let's go, because now Trump is trying to hijack the Epstein release files, and we ain't gonna let him.
Files on sex offender Jeffrey Epstein will soon be on President Trump's desk after the House passed the bill nearly unanimously.
The yeas are 427. The nays are 1.
Only one lawmaker voted no, Republican Clay Higgins, who voiced concern about the privacy of the victims and people mentioned in the files who have not been criminally implicated. Higgins writing, if enacted in its current form, this type of broad reveal of criminal investigative files released to a rabid media will absolutely result in innocent people being hurt. As that vote unfolded, survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse watching from above, celebrating. The Senate then approving the measure almost instantly. Without objection, so ordered.
The Senate has now passed.
President Trump had fought for weeks to prevent a vote on releasing the files.
Wow.
Just last Friday, responding this way to a female reporter on Air Force One who asked about the case. Appearing to call her Piggy.
Wow.
Yesterday.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's just like Mark in the audience. That's why Mark likes Trump, because he responds like this. Shout out to you, Mark. Good morning. Good morning to you. I like to mess with people who think they can mess with me too. So welcome to the audience. Did you hear what he said? He called a piggy. Why he over there looking like that? I don't understand what Trump sees when he looks in the mirror. What does he see? His wife don't even want to hold his hand. She literally covers her head with a bucket because she don't want people to see her real facial expression as she is mandated to walk with him. Who does Trump think he is? That's why I feel even worse for the victims, because these people are atrocious and disgusting. Not only looking, but just in spirit as well. Anyway, let's go. Let's go.
Vote to release the files coming as the president made another controversial move, welcoming Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to the White House and praising his human rights record.
Now, mind you, listen to this, guys. This is a subliminal message, I believe, to reporters alike and people like me or people who are going to speak out. Y'all don't remember what this man was accused of doing? Y'all don't remember? Let's listen. I was a little bit upset with this.
Proud of the job he's done. What he's done is incredible in terms of human rights and everything else.
The CIA during President Trump's first term determined it was the Crown Prince who orchestrated the murder and dismemberment of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Our Mary Bruce asking.
Washington Post, a real journalist that was out there trying to get real news to bring it to you guys so the narrative wouldn't be controlled. And guess what happened? Wow. I just got an epiphany. I'm just going to say this. Y'all know what Candace is saying. And do y'all think this is kind of like the same thing with Charlie Kirk? With Charlie Kirk? I'm just saying, I just caught an epiphany, because this is how they move. And then we have our administration and our elected officials that says nothing because that is messing up their agenda and their ties and their money. But I'm gonna keep it moving. I had to shout out to Candace's investigation of Charlie Kirk. That's something that should be on mainstream mind right now as well. It's not just done and over with. A lot of factors from Cash Patel, his investigation was a little bit crazy. It didn't even make sense. It sounds familiar.
This.
Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President. I'm with ABC News, sir.
Trump interjecting.
You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happened. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
This guy, I'm going to tell you a little story about him because I went deep diving after this guy. Not a joke. This man is allegedly a monster, even by way of his daughter and his wife. Okay?
Prince, who rarely speaks to the media, answered.
It's really painful to hear anyone that been losing his life for no real purpose. It's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we're doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
The Crown.
So this is the Crown Prince, just to go to the sideline on this particular situation, how Trump be sending subliminal message to people, to us, basically like, this is my guy. Just like he like Putin and how Putin run his country. And that's not how we like to run our country. He kind of run his stuff like a dictatorship. He got his shit on lock. They like that because that's how their culture is. But our culture is different and they can't change us to that. But this guy, okay, we're going to just say allegedly. Now, y'all need to look this up. There was a documentary that was put out by the BBC of his daughter. His daughter had basically been, one of his daughters had been locked up in this dungeon type of thing because she was very rebellious. And she orchestrated at least twice to try to get away. Like, it was so serious, orchestrated. It was just like some James Bond orchestration because she had people within the regime or in her home that wanted to help her get out. So they provided her with speedboats, this, that, and the third. And I think it was a setup the first two times that she tried to get away because they ended up catching her in the middle. Like, they caught it on camera and everything and brung her back and locked her up. So the last time, I think her mother, his wife, orchestrated and helped to get her out the country. Now, I don't know if the wife followed through because she wasn't supposed to leave too, but she said she would rather risk her life so her daughter could get freedom. Her daughter was out of the country. I don't know if it was Paris. It was somewhere. She was staying in a hotel. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. I'll be deep diving. I'm like, who this person is? This is the person that he said did not do nothing to this reporter, is just has a great human rights. What did he say? Report? No. His daughter was literally hiding in a hotel, I think Paris, because this was a while ago, and she was trying to reach out to the news and everything, and they were sending people to say, hey, your family basically want to orchestrate you coming home. This, that. She's like, she's not. And they was like, well, is your brother here? This, that, and third. Now, just to close off, the way it works out there is that the men have more control over women, period. The females, be it girl, child, or whatever. So you have to listen to your brother. Sometimes it's incest that goes on. They can take your money, they can beat you. So she like, I don't trust them, I don't want to have nothing, because they're beyond male chauvinists over there. The women are oppressed. Like, so I'm put that video down there. I know I went into detail, but this is why y'all watch me, because I'll be putting other stuff there. I'm like, what? I put that video under there. I think it was the BBC that did it. So I can't do a reaction to it because they be ready to copyright. But it was high speed boats, everything involved. And it was people within the palace that were trying to help her get out. And I do think the last time that I heard, I think they took her back. And I pray that they didn't. I think that was what I heard. And I stopped watching it because I got upset. Like I said, I was like, oh man, the princess. She's the fucking princess. And she was trying to get away. This is how bad shit is. And we have political and financial ties to these countries who have these practices. And then we portray them in a way like they're good and we're giving them money and this, that, and third. Then we use these tyrannical countries against another country that we want to take down by saying, oh, this person has nuclear weapons, this, that, and the third. Just remember that the relationships that we have with some of these leaders of other countries are based on bad contracts. I'm just going to stop that right there. I know I went into detail, but guys, I haven't been live all week. Let's hit the like button if you like what I'm saying, how far I go deep diving. And I'm kind of breaking things down that y'all may have never heard before, but y'all can go research. Okay, so the House votes to release Epstein files. Here's what's next, and that's what we're trying to get to. What can we, kind of expect next? We do expect that these files are mandated to be released by December 19th. Okay, they got 30 days. Let's go.
Kyle Madura outside the U.S. Capitol, where earlier this afternoon, the House of Representatives passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act by the overwhelming margin of 427 to 1. The bill, if signed into law, would force the U.S. Department of Justice to release its investigatory files into the late convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. It's a major milestone for this effort, months in the making. Just last week, a new member of Congress provided the final signature necessary to get around the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, and his concerns with the bill. President Donald Trump campaigned against it over the last several weeks, even pressuring members of his own party to withdraw their support. When it became clear that that wouldn't work and that the votes were there, the president posting to social media on Sunday evening that he not only endorsed the bill, but would sign it if it made it to his desk. One of the big outstanding questions remaining, though, is whether a new investigation launched by Attorney General Pam Bondi at the urging of President Trump might actually block the release of files because of an ongoing investigation despite this bill and its potential to be passed.
Exactly. And that's going to be the hijacking of the Epstein files. That's going to be the hijacking of the Epstein file. Pam Bundy is suspect. We already know. And that's why I think that the route that they've been going through the Congress, through the Senate, whatever way that they've been releasing it, these bulk loads of emails, that's the same way that it needs to be released. And then we need to have, I don't know, different investigators look into this. Possibly state-bound investigators that's possibly not compromised. Take it back down to the state level, because the federal level right now is disgusting. And shout out to the gaslighters in the audience. My question is, when we're talking about high volume political things, why do you guys go to the left and then throw out tropes, or you try to disintegrate people's characters? We are adults here. You don't have to act like children all the time just because you're behind a screen. This is why America is so stupid at this point, because we can't have constructive conversations. Sometimes I look at the comments and I be like, damn, are these people, did they bump finishing in high school, but do they have any sorts of common sense? That's all I'm asking. Okay, so let's keep this broadcast moving. Now we know Trump signed the bill to release the Jeffrey Epstein files after fighting against it for months. Now, what we can expect is that the deadline is to the Justice Department to release this is February. I do apologize. December 19th. Here we go. Let's watch this real quick. Okay, give me 1 second. Please hit the like button. I appreciate you guys being here.
Files
related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation is sitting on President Trump's desk. But as Olivia Rubin reports, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says there's new information requiring the Justice Department to release its files related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation is sitting on President Trump's desk.
Crazy.
But as Olivia Rubin reports, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says there's new information in the investigation today, but refused to elaborate.
Today, the files on Jeffrey Epstein are one step closer to release after months of delay. Congress overwhelmingly passing a bill that orders the Justice Department to release its files concerning the convicted sex offender, now just awaiting President Trump's signature. Once signed, the Justice Department has 30 days to release the records. But the looming question, will any documents be withheld? After President Trump publicly ordered a new investigation into Democrats' association with Epstein. Attorney General Pam Bondi today didn't exactly say.
We'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency.
After new Epstein files subpoenaed from his estate last week repeatedly named the president, Trump writing on social media he would ask Bondi to, quote, investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Democrats. Bondi soon doing just that. But earlier this year, Bondi's own Justice Department concluded, quote, we did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties.
What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Information that has come for information. There's information that new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law.
Trump denies all wrongdoing and any knowledge of Epstein's crimes. The White House has said the documents, quote, prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong.
Okay, so this is the reason why I said what, because I gotta understand that proof as well is not just documents. That helps to coincide all of these numerous victim statements. These women have story to tell, and they are very graphic, very graphic. So this is what we're supposed to be looking forward to. By December 19th, we should be able to have some public documents that's released that's searchable and downloaded for us. Within 15 days of this release, the Justice Department must submit a report to Congress detailing all the released and withheld materials, the justification for any redactions. Shout out to you, Z. Exactly. They're going to be redacting it. And if you go look at some of the government files that has been released, the redactions be so heavy that it don't even make no sense. You know, if you don't have a comprehensive understanding of what's going on, it's hard for you to follow. So that's what we're going to have to look forward to. But if they redact like crazy, allegedly they have 15 days to represent this to Congress. So we're going to keep our eye on it. All right. Shout out to you, Z. Nicholas, there's are too many victims. Redactions will get revealed in upcoming court case. Exactly. I hope so. No, I do. I agree with you. Civil cases is what actually helps sometimes criminal cases that's hard to prosecute allegedly, because they say more things there that is on the record. Because some of these cases have, they're like a third party, like the person who saw somebody do something like, hey, I did see Epstein come and pick these two girls up. Sometimes those third party reports, or matter of fact, this is a third party report where they're like, well, someone told me that they saw Epstein doing this, but I happened to didn't see it myself, but I worked at Mar-a-Lago. Those are some of the statements that they have that is not submissible. But if you go to civil court where the bar of, how can I say, the standards to prove beyond a reasonable doubt is much lower in the civil court, it's above 50, but it's not 100%. That's where they're going to get some wins in. So I'm with you, and that's what they did to Puff Your Daddy. Those civil cases is what got him. So it says some of the things we're going to look forward to is the flight logs and other travel records. Again, what that representative said, well, he feels like the only one person that did not vote for it, he'd probably be in that list, and they suspect, said that it's going to wreak havoc on people named who are just there. They're going to redact some, but at the end of the day, this is what I'm going to say. Real is real. I'm not about to give no one plausible deniability. You know if somebody's sus. I mean, now, if you're not with them all the time, you kind of meet them up at a party once in blue, you see them. But if you see weird behavior, you can sense it. I'm not going to go with us as human beings don't have an innate intuition that something is wrong. Trump, again, Trump supporters, y'all say that he left Epstein alone when he figured out that he dealt with young girls and he had an affinity for young girls, but there were young girls at the party. Trump has pictures that's not AI generated of two beautiful Caucasian Gentile young girls, three, one behind them, smiling. Little girls. They're little girls. What about the one with the big old fat chain on her neck? I guess she was given to him for a present. I don't know, allegedly. But that is just so far-fetched for us to say once he found that out, it was like, no, you had a bunch of little people walking at parties late at night. How weird is that? So you're telling me nobody, I don't care how much money floating around, how much drugs, how much drinking, you're not going to. So those people, I think they don't have plausible deniability. I don't think that they are innocent. Certain things they should have came out and said. They better be glad it's the statute of limitation because they play harbor to this. I'm just keeping it real. Let them all go down. What if that was your kid going to these parties with these adults? Just like the lady who allowed her artiste of a daughter to go on a summer, I don't know, scholarship, mentorship with these people. And they did this to her? Come on. I don't have no sympathy for nobody. So information on individuals and entities associated with Epstein's criminal activity. Let's highlight this. JP Morgan. That was a big, big entity that allowed money to go in and out, in and out. Come on now. They watch us like hawks. Drug dealers know not to put money inside of no bank. And he was just running it, having beautiful relationships with them, investors, getting loans, having boxes. You know how they have those special boxes with all of these heirlooms in it, having people come pick it up, doing exchanges and shit. Excuse me. JP Morgan. This what to expect next is a whole palace, and anyone and everyone could be named in this. Please, guys, y'all get ready. Please take the veil off of your eyes, the right, the left, the liberal. Look at this as right and wrong, as well as when y'all hear these stories, I'm going to keep it real. That's why I've been talking about Phoenician worship, Bell worship. This is the foundations of the practices of these elites here, because they believe that this is going to get them money once they, give offering to these deities, which is children, which is the pure. It's not conspiracy. It's in the Bible. And then it went into others. It's just ridiculous. I just want you guys to be prepared, because I think a lot of people are going to be, their heart is going to be wretched over this, because it's really new to them. I have a few people that was like, what? Shout out to one of my faves. I was telling about chemtrails. And she was like, what? I was like, girl, it's real. Finally, since a little girl, I remember driving down the street with my father, like, hey, look at those clouds. They're never going away. He's like, oh, here she goes with her shit. Like, that's how they used to treat me. And I was like, those not regular. And guess what? Chemtrails. Okay? This is real. Okay, so I know I'll be going to the left. We're about to finish this broadcast. I have a lot more to share with you guys, but I don't like going over an hour, 2 hours. We're going to get into what's going on with the migration, because I have some things going on, but I think we're going to do a part 2. I'm going to start that at 9:30 or 10 o'clock, because I just want to get these broadcasts in. I love talking about it. My broadcast helps some people get caught up, help enlighten them, help us talk from a different perspective, non-biased. And I help y'all kind of get in contact with your heart again, because a lot of them just disconnected. Okay, so we are going to look at any immunity deals offered to Epstein or his associates, and I hope we can cross-reference that to some of the immunity deals that Trump already did, the new ones. Documentation concerning Epstein 2019 detention and death. I'm gonna get to y'all comments. Do y'all think that they're gonna let us see the full video? Because remember, I told y'all somebody else did it. The last live, look at it. I showed y'all where Epstein Island was, from Florida to Epstein Island, and all of the Caribbean islands in between. And Haiti was there. Y'all know I was bad as hell, stealing my kids. Stealing my kids. I said, Epstein is between here and here. And somebody else made a video like Epstein is on Epstein Island, allegedly, because that person said allegedly. They have a drone picture after the time that Epstein was pronounced unalive, of him looking up at the drone. Now, y'all know AI is sometimes I can't even tell, but I'll put that video down here for you guys. He did put allegedly, so I have to give him that respect. But Good timing. Good timing. And we're going to be looking for evidence related to any concealment or destruction of files. Cash Patel, you going down. Cash Patel, he ain't the only one, because this started back in Biden. This started back in Biden administration. No, actually Trump first administration. Yeah, that should be going down there, because that's when QAnon was really putting out a lot of work. We had all these amazing documentaries, which was very hurtful. Of You remember it was a big old bus, and they had the documentary that they kept trying to take down, and the guy had to put it on his own page. I know who I'm talking about. I'm gonna put the name of it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna look at the comments. I'm just trying to wrap up some stuff. So what could be withheld? It says, okay, let's go to your comments. J1 Mega talking points, laugh out loud. Preacher on sister, that one Joe, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the audience. Please hit the like button or the dislike. I mean, I just want the algorithm to know that y'all here and y'all intertwining. Just do what you gotta do. You see what I'm saying? I'm just working on it. You like me, you don't like me. But I'm not gonna shut up. I'm just gonna be telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? The left is over. Boy, you are all crickets. Yep. But left and right. Yep. But yeah, the left been quiet. They never really pushed the Epstein files. That's what I said. That's why I had mentioned Bill Clinton from the beginning, because that was the main person that I felt from knowing life stories that they were doing stuff to kids. I mean, y'all see that kind of make me mad, but God be the glory. I Haitian kids, man. I pray that them people get them kids back. So, some of the things that can be held allegedly is victims' personal identification information about them, but they're already coming out. Materials that contain child content. Thank you, because I don't want to see that. Information that would jeopardize an ongoing federal investigation or prosecution. I'm gonna throw that whole statement in the garbage, y'all. That I don't like, because when you give these public officials who are in line with corruption and possibly being bought and sold, this discretion is, how can I say, severely, give me the word, their discretion level. Please tell me when it involves with money, politics, and protecting themselves. They don't have no discretion. So for them to have discretion on what's going to be shown based on their investigation, it scares me. It scares me. It's not right. Details related to national security. There's nothing. Oh, I got quiet. You know why? Because I think something about Israel going to come out. Shh, I can't say it because I'm brown, and I'm a Hebrew. And they shut all us down by talking about them. But I'm just letting you, I just got a feeling. Y'all come back with the 8 ball. 8 ball mean that one of my prophecies. I'm not a prophetess, but just stuff just come to me. But I really do think is going to be put up in this, because you already know Gleanne connection to Israel. The father was honored by Israel. Like, she gave her connections to Epstein. That's why she had this love and hate relationship with him that we talked about, where that you don't know which way she gonna go with this, because she the abuser and abuser. So let's keep that in mind. So when they said national security, I was like, they're going to use that as the example. They're going to use that as an excuse. I hope not. And imagery depicting unaliveness or physical abuse. We're not going to be able to see that. So impact of these release is going to be, we already know, we've been doing this for how long? Political scrutiny. I'm glad for people waking up, being able just to speak, not being afraid. I love this vibe, because I've been doing it, but people just been gunning after me for doing it. But now I'm glad that y'all able just to speak against your party, for your party, whatever. Just speak your piece. As long as you're not harming nobody. These things have to come out. They have to be transparent so we can fix this. Because they're, like I said, they're not just snatching up kids in the street. It's going through our DFAC system. Is going through migration. Here he go. Trump came out with something. Oh, over 400 and something thousand children was trafficked under Biden. Well, your number is going up right now because you're trafficking even American children and immigrant children right now. Biden did a whole number too. I'm gonna just keep it real. Some of the practices, that's what was a little weird because it was like two folds to this. It was migrants flooding in at one point. But prior to this, we were seeing videos that made us empathetic. This is where the setup comes. Y'all remember y'all was seeing the videos where they had the judges asking the little Spanish kids like, do you speak English? Who brung you here? And the kids got the headphones on, like 2 years old, looking at it. That made me cry. They be setting us up. So they set us up to have empathy, and then they flooded a whole bunch of immigrants in here. That was literally open gates for because they said a lot of men came in with kids, with kids. We just got to think, y'all. We got to think. Don't be surprised that it's going to be people, public officials, just like when we brought up the Polk County Sheriff who tried to cover up a abuse case last week. Shout out to the content creator who brung that up. He got 1.5 million views. He outviewed Polk County Sheriff on his covering ups. Yes. Yes. Okay. So now let's just finish off with Trump knew about the girl. And we're going to get up out of here in a second. Trump knew about the girls. Let's watch this. That's why he's nervous. Now, democracy, now, I don't care what y'all say, they've been on it. God has been protecting them. They don't care what they say. They tell the truth. They talk about Gaza. They talked about Haiti. I love them. I love her. I pray to God protect her because her broadcast is doing it. They said that Trump already knew. Shout out to democracy now. Let's watch this. We know
I
we
am
know.
the one able to take him down. Those are the words of Jeffrey Epstein talking about Donald Trump in a private email written in 2018. The email is part of a trove of over 20,000 pages of documents released Wednesday by the House Oversight Committee, raising new questions about President Trump's ties to...
And again, I just got to stop the broadcast. Please hit the like button if you like me or you don't, okay? It's freedom of speech, and I need y'all to help me get me through the algorithm because I was abused by the Democrats, okay? They didn't like me because I did this same shit. If y'all thought I was getting on Republicans and telling, man, I was running them a ragged for the last year on the South Side, okay? Please hit the like button. I love you guys. I love you.
The deceased convicted sex offender. Earlier on Wednesday morning, Democrats on the committee preemptively released 3 emails from the files. In one email from 2019, Epstein wrote that Trump, quote, knew about the girls. In another email from 2011, Epstein described Trump as the, quote, dog that hasn't barked, noting that Trump had, quote, spent hours at my house with Virginia, a reference...
Oh, we're going to figure out who is Virginia. If y'all know who Virginia is, please put a video in the comment for me so I can review because there's so many victims. Hours. And it sounds so bad for me to say it. Hours with the victim. Most likely she was underage. And let's look at the ones that accuse him. Do they look like his daughter? Because you know he got a little fetish, right? Okay, yeah.
The late Virginia Giuffre, who accused Epstein of grooming and
Yeah,
sexually
just a little
trafficking
bit.
her, beginning when she was 16 years old. The Democrats released a version of the email with Virginia's name redacted, but an unredacted version of the email was later released.
Okay, so this is actually the young lady who was unalive, y'all. I do believe. If I'm not correct, let me know. Allegedly self-unalive, but it was a little bit so weird because she had a book that was ready to release. This is what they do. Shout out to Seth Johnson. Y'all like, where'd that come from? Yeah, I remember DNC, the Democratic Committee, a couple of years ago. He got killed in New York because he was about to release some files allegedly. Oh, I know about all. I'm gonna make y'all remember the stuff they sweep under the rug. Get rid of it as soon as you about to release a book or tell.
Recently published memoir, Virginia Giuffre writes she feared she would, quote, die a sex slave at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. But in the book, Giuffre does not allege wrongdoing by Trump. She worked at Trump's Mar-a-Lago before being recruited by Ghislaine Maxwell.
In another email from 2015, Epstein asked a reporter at the New York Times, quote, "Would you like photos of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen?"
Oh,
We're joined now by Spencer Kubin, who represents several survivors of the...
we're going to watch a little bit of that, and then we're going to take our intermission, and I'm going to come back in about a half an hour so we could do part 2, where we talk about what's going on with ICE, immigrants, New York, Charlotte is going down. It's not a joke. And also, we do have one person who impersonated an ICE agent, and he was an officer. We're going to watch that. Yes, he was an officer trying to go after his girlfriend. They sick. Okay, let's watch a little bit more Democracy Now. I love her. Her little oldie self with her nice leather jacket. I love her. If I ever meet her, I'm going to get her a hug. They put in the work here. Please hit the like button. I appreciate you guys being here with Grace this morning.
Used by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Let's
we have a lot
listen.
to ask you about in very small amount of time. Start off by responding to these emails that have been released. And now the latest news that the House is going to vote on releasing the whole trove of Epstein-Maxwell documents by next week, not in December, as was previously thought.
Whoa.
Do you think Johnson get one of the Republican Congress members
Okay.
who are calling for the...
Okay, guys. Okay, we're going to finish watch this, but we just need to come up with a plan. Okay, I'm telling you now, this is how it works, because this is how I think our Congress and Senate are just failing, because they don't read bills. Bills be so damn long that they don't read them. They just sign it. We got to read this. So I know I don't have a big team, but I'm going to try my best to get as much read. If y'all have a team, y'all need to get together and have them read like 100 pages each and have them do a description, and y'all get together and we make it like a book club. You know what I'm saying? That's how we used to do. That's how we used to study nursing too. So it was just a lot. So we was like, all right, we're gonna read everything, but you focus on this. You focus on this. You take your notes, but focus on this so you could come back and teach us about this shit. Because some of us are gonna be weak and some of us gonna be strong. So I just had to throw that out there, y'all, because we're not gonna let them get these damn files out here, even though they're gonna be redacted and not see it. Because I think it's a lot. Okay, I just had to throw that out there. Y'all know I'm a problem solution type person. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna need some root reading here, y'all.
Place to flip.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. And I'm not sure exactly what they're going to actually do, but remember, this is just one procedural hurdle, right? The House has to pass this discharge petition. And then once the discharge petition has now gone through, they've got to vote on the floor. Then once that vote occurs, it's got to flip over to the Senate. And then the president will then have to sign off on releasing this information. So there are times or periods in this process where it can get hung up and we never end up seeing this information. Also remember that the most important thing that we want to see and that the general public should be shown isn't necessarily the documents. It's the videotapes and photographs that were taken into custody by the FBI at the various different...
No. Tell him, don't fool him. Don't fool us. I just read to you that that's some of the things that could be redacted, literally. Like they have the right to hold those because that's part of the investigation. We want all the paperwork. We'll take the paperwork and we'll just depict it. Don't try to control the narrative. I don't trust this guy right here. Oh, hell no, y'all. Okay, y'all got the groups together. Don't just look at the video because y'all going to be so disgusted on videos that we just going to be trying to redact and show videos when they're going to be hundreds of names in here. So I don't agree with this guy. But y'all know, I'm just a legal researcher. I'll be the one in the background. I'll be like, oh, lawyer, you want to see this? And they'll be like, no. And then they'll be like, let me see. Oh, this was my idea. They'd be like, yeah, we're going to use this. I have people do this and be like, yeah, this is my idea. So that's a bad idea, guys. That's not good. We don't care about the videos. It's going to be too heart-wrenching on the people. It's going to be distraction. That's what I think.
Homes of Jeffrey Epstein. We're talking about his homes down in the Virgin Islands, here in Palm Beach, where I'm at, as well as his home in Manhattan. That's the information that's going to speak 1,000 words. That's what the general public needs to see.
Where are those videotapes? And does the Epstein estate have what many feel the government should have taken?
Well, I believe the videotapes are in the custody of the FBI because, remember, he was arrested at Teterboro Airport, and he never had an opportunity to get back to his mansion post-arrest. And the FBI then executed a search warrant on his home in Manhattan.
That is where we believe that a wealth of video evidence was maintained. In addition to that, they then executed a warrant in the Virgin Islands. We know that after his arrest here in Palm Beach, or actually I should say just before his arrest, he had a team of people that took hard drives away from the home here in Palm Beach and secreted them away.
And guess what? All the people who did that should be locked up for obstruction, for tampering with evidence. I mean, everybody.
Stood as attorneys back then in 2007, 2008, when I was representing these young victims, that they had likely taken that evidence off to the Virgin Islands to secure it.
Can I? Oh my God, y'all. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. We're going to finish this broadcast up because I got 10% left. Guys, did he say 2008? I said 2011. We're in 2025. Do you know that these people almost suffer for 20 years watching their abusers make millions of dollars, become presidents, become political elites? Oh, don't we get it messed up? Billionaires, tech gurus was with him. Shut up. Yeah, they was there too. Baby, Silicon Valley was connected to Epstein. He was into the tech world as well. This shit go deep, y'all. It goes deep. Please hit the like button or the dislike button, whatever works for you. But we just need to tell the algorithm you here for it. To argue, to not, to agree, whatever. Let's get to it.
500 gigabytes of information that needs to be released.
Jeez, that's a lot.
Well, Spencer, you had already seen the emails that were released yesterday, including the one that disclosed that Trump spent hours with Virginia. They were under a protective order by a federal judge, which is why you couldn't disclose them. Now, if you could talk about when...
Federal judge. Whoever that is, we need to see if her name is in there or his name. Like, this is corrupt. Why would you do this? What is the pretense? Even with the federal judge who did that with SNAP, I was mad at her. I'm like, why would you do that? Oh, because it's a government shutdown. We can't distribute SNAP. Like, girl, you know how many times it was a government shutdown before? Or are you being influenced by your Jewish husband? I'm gonna shut up. Yep, get him to. It's gonna watch. I'm gonna see. How do you think Epstein got the light sentence? How do you think he just got probation? How do you think he was able to leave his house? And they possibly told the judge, because they had to tell him. You remember when he was in New York locked up and bringing girls up there too? The judges was getting updates on this. They didn't rebuke his bail or take him off of house arrest. I had to do the Haitian. Yeah, I heard that. That was the Haitian suck teeth. I'm sick of it.
You first saw them, what most surprised you, and whether other lawyers or yourself have seen any of the photographic or video evidence that you say is so crucial.
Well, I can't talk about things that might be protected by, still protected by protective order.
See?
What I can tell you generally is that the emails were part of a litigation that occurred down in the Southern District of Florida. And when that disclosure occurred, remember that our advocacy as attorneys was on behalf of victims to try to upend or turn over the sweetheart deal that the U.S. government had executed with Jeffrey Epstein because they failed to keep the victims informed of that deal. I only learned of it on behalf of my clients because an informant told me that I needed to rush to court because this secret deal was about to be entered.
Wow.
So,
you know that happened to Fannie Willis did that too, y'all. That's why I don't be liking the Democrats or Republicans. No disrespect. Fannie Willis did that to somebody out here too.
A lot of that information was turned over in that litigation. We weren't really focused on Trump at the time, so it wasn't the focus of our investigation or our litigation back then. We were just tangentially aware that they existed. Now that the focus is on this material, I can say that there is a lot more to come, and I can say that the FBI does have more information that needs to be released.
I'm done. We're going to do a part 2 to this. I'm telling you, it is a lot to unpack here. I'm done. You know why? He said, yeah, we basically acknowledged that Trump name was involved or people name was involved, but you know, that wasn't our focus, but now it's our focus. No, it's not supposed to be that. You're supposed to be looking at everything, pulling out each name and doing an investigation. Do you see why I don't choose between party lines and corrupt elected officials? Woo, Whew, I'm done. Y'all better get with it. I'm gonna need some Marjorie Tellers out here. Only way the system is gonna be fixed if you and people that can participate in the system get in there and fix it. If y'all believe in this system, I'm just gonna close off like this because I'm a little different. I'm a Hebrew, so I can't participate in the system as though I move like Jesus. See, he didn't participate. But if you guys going to, as far as politically, you guys need to get in there and get these positions. And Marjorie Taylor can do it, your ass can do it. I'm just keeping it real. You guys really believe in this stuff. And I'm not saying I don't believe in it because I got to live it and it affects me. But if you guys have the passion to take on positions, this is the same talk that I did to the Democratic side as I was warning them that they were about to be taken over by the black boule. I said, y'all done messed up. Y'all done got this man in here talking about he look all good, replace the hood rat Democrat. But then this don't even give a damn. I said, y'all better go over there and go run these positions. So go run for something in your area if you feel that you can do it. Margie Taylor could do it. So with that being said, I'm going to see y'all in about 1 hour. I'm going to get everything set up. We're going to do a part 2 where we're going to get into what's going on with ICE. You know I am on ICE because one, my uncle was a federal agent, and I really think every day, what would he have done in this particular situation? Two, these ICE agents is getting locked up. People kept saying they ain't gonna get locked up. They're not gonna get locked up. They're getting locked up. And also we have ICE impersonators. So on the helm of us talking about trafficking and things like that, we can bridge into some of these girls are being kidnapped and accosted by people who are pretending to be ICE. And the FBI made a warning about that. And this is why they said mask off and have your identity because they snatching people. They body snatching. So with that, going to say, I love you guys. Thank you for being here with Grace Levi. Please hit the like button if you like the comprehensive breakdown, non-biased, put a little God in it, and we keep it moving. I'm going to see you in about an hour. Check the links below for our sponsors. If you're into investing in real estate and you feel like you're locked out the market and you can't get a conventional loan, no disrespect. The Death Note, let me help you learn how to get into foreclosures, deed investment, sheriff sales, whatever it is, I can help you because my goal is to actually teach you to do your due diligence. Okay? That's all I want y'all to do. Get that work. So have a good morning. Come back in the hour if you're available, okay? These to those who off today because we do got a job and we do have businesses here, okay? Shout out to the people who are ready to change this economy.